Hello, I am Brianna. Welcome to my life on paper, where paper and pictures tell my story. I am doing a design team layout for Crafting Dragon Design, which is on Etsy. I will have that linked below. I am also playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, Series 17. Today's sketch is by Gloria Montross. So I chose another picture from my daughter's wedding last September. This is a photo of the bridesmaids' dresses, the bride's gown, as well as my dress, and then my daughter had two usherettes instead of ushers, so one of the jumpsuits of the usherettes. These are 49 and Market papers, and so I'm just going through to see kind of what background I might want to use. And I really wasn't thinking I was going to use anything with any decoration. I thought maybe a patterned paper or something with a soft color. So I'm going through these. I come across this one, and I'll put the photo down looking at the rest of my options at this one. And I love the way it's got the green, and my dress is that navy blue, and I just fell in love with this paper. So this is the one I am using. The printables from Crafting Dragon's Design that I'm using are the fussy cut bottles, and that's one. And then the other one is the Rococo style florals. So those are the bottles. And I again fell in love with like the colors of these bottles. You can see I picked out, there's a lot more bottles than what I have here, but I picked out ones that I felt like went with the colors of the paper and the photo. And so I'm looking for like a light blue, maybe a rosy colored one, because I know I'm going to use some flowers that have different pinks in them. And I got that pretty green bottle, a clear bottle, and I'm not really sure where those bottles are going to land right now. I am using Gloria's sketch kind of to figure out what florals I want, what bottles I want. And so then I go into the florals, and I can tell you there's a lot of, I mean, you can see how many different florals there are. And after picking some out, you can see that I'm gravitating towards the cluster, well, not clusters, but the groupings of like one floral or a couple. Um, the more bouquets of florals I kind of stayed away from. So those will be for a different layout. So here I am arranging the florals, again, just like where the florals are on Gloria's sketch. And between the printables and that fabulous background paper that's like got it done for you already, there's not a lot there's not a lot of pieces to put together. I mean, there is some layered paper and there's a title, but other than that, this comes together rather quickly. I guess part of it is me trying to figure out exactly where I want to get those florals and bottles placed. So you'll see they move around quite a bit. The other thing that kind of gets moved around a lot too are those bottles, because I start off with the longer bottles, and that oh the and that darker brown went away for the lighter green. I think because that darker green just matched those leaves so exactly, I got the lighter green for a little bit more of a contrast. But once I start picking these out, I'm like, you know what? The shorter bottles might be the way to go. So you'll see me take those longer bottles out. I think I still at least keep at least one longer bottle, but maybe two. I don't know. They get changed out a lot. That's all I got to say. And then the florals get changed around. At one point, I'm thinking, there's the pink in the right corner, and there's not any pink in that lower left. So you'll see me fix that as well. Oh, there are the shorter bottles, and then I don't, and then, oop, nope, a taller one comes back in. This is where I think, there's the blue florals over there. I don't want to necessarily all cover those up, but I need to get some pink over on that side of the layout. And here comes some more bottles changing out. I will have the Etsy shop linked below. I will also have links to both of these printable collections. And then if you use the code Brianna10, it's BRIANA10, at checkout, you'll get 10% off. I believe there is a sale on certain things like the Easter items and the St. Patrick's Day items in there, so be looking for that. And I will also have Chrissy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, the Facebook group, as well as the playlist for all the videos down below. I also brought in that green paper is another 49 in Market. And in a little bit, you'll see me bring in a few more things from 49 in Market. So I have my background. That little piece of the same background paper is going to be the little embellishment cluster on the bottom right. And so here I'm like kind of firming up where I want everything to go. I've got my bottles, which I think are going to be the ones that I stay with. I've got my cluster on the bottom, which is the little rose there. And these are pieces from 49 and Market. They're like envelope pieces. And I thought first I thought I was going to use two of them, but I actually take only the one. And it's got a little texture there, I guess. It's got, like a rigid, not a rigid, um, not like a torn side, but well, I guess it would be a torn side. So I'm going to cut that in half and then use both pieces, or cut it in half and then cut it in half, and use two pieces the on the layout. I'm going to go into my paper stash, my paper scraps, and I'm going to grab out some different shades of green. So I got the really dark green there, and then this kind of green that matches the bottle. And then I end up finding a pattern paper, and I think this is a really old, close to my heart one. And I was kind of excited, and it's got another pattern in it, and I put it in there. And then I go back into my 49 and Market things, and I'm wondering what's going to go over there. And I end up, I think these are called, I don't know if it's parchment paper, but it's these thin pieces of paper. And so I trim them down because they each have like it's not a floral, but foliage in it. And I'm going to use part of that as a layering piece. And I'm going to keep kind of shuffling around those florals until I really get to a place where I, I don't know, until they're right. Um, I had that big rose with the white and pink on the left, and I changed that out for this rose. That's just mainly the pink color, and another couple switcheroos for my bottles. I'm going to bring in another piece from 49 Market. It's like another kind of an envelope piece, and that's going to be my journaling spot. But right now, I want to make sure I keep looking at my sketch, and there's the envelope piece that's going to be like the journaling spot. And I keep, trying to make sure that I'm kind of following the sketch. And it's at this point that I'm feeling really good about how this looks. I like how the florals are. I like the bottles that I have. I like the floral on the left lower side. I like the floral that's in the cluster on the right lower side. It's not really cluster, but on the right lower side. And I'm gonna probably start to. So I do have an Echo Park collection that there's this is a sticker, and it was between this and the die cut that I'm holding. But I do like that the die cut that I was holding, that's a title, it was gonna fade too much with just the green. So I decided to go with this title, this sticker, and it says, "On this day I will marry my best friend," which I thought was very appropriate since this is going to be going into a book for Jillian. I hadn't really decided, but I think I'm going to be scrapbooking a lot of these photos, and I'm going to do a very condensed version for kind of my albums, or what I call the family albums. So the last thing I'm going to do is use Dina Wakley. It's a gold, but I think it's called Gilt, as in like GILDT. Um, and I'm going to use the splatters around that, and I think that will be the last thing I'm going to do to finish the layout. So I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Have a fabulous rest of your day, and please come back and see me again soon.